Last night turned out to be a nightmare for the New England Patriots, not unexpected given everything that happened to them beginning Saturday when we found out that Cam Newton had tested positive for COVID-19. The game gets delayed from Sunday to Monday. They travel on Monday once they get the all clear that the virus hasn't spread, or more accurately, that the positives haven't happened yet because of the incubation period. There's still a chance we're going to find out today, tomorrow, Thursday, that there are others who are positive. That's the way the virus works. The way it worked last night, the Chiefs ultimately defeat the Patriots 26-10 in a game that was a lot closer than that for a lot longer. And but for the Patriots committing the rare act of beating themselves, they could have won the game.
No doubt about it. I mean, let's flush it out. I mean, the first thing is, you sit there, all right, the first thought that went through my head is, whoa, what would this game look like if Cam Newton was playing? All right, but let's just talk about what we saw last night first before I even dive into all of that stuff. I mean, rare. I mean, 2 nights in a row, we saw 2 of the better coaches in football have a backup quarterback play and really screw up the game, like Nick Mullins did for the 49ers and Brian Hoyer did for the New England Patriots last night. I mean, shocking, some of the mistakes we saw, right, Mike? Shocking. Horrible interception for a guy that we know knows the offense. The sack before halftime. I mean, that's about as bad as that gets. Later on makes another mistake. I mean, all of those type of things, I just was shocking to see a guy like Brian Hoyer, who'd been in the New England system for so long, played so much football. And to your point, I mean, if he just plays like average, they might win the football game. Defense played great. They did all the right things on the offensive side of the ball, running the ball, chewing the clock, keeping Mahomes over by the Gatorade bottles and everything like that. I mean, really, it was perfect execution of a game plan other than one guy. And that one guy messed it up for everybody else. And, of course, that is the reason they lost. It is Brian Hoyer, his mistakes, the sacks he took, everything like that. Disaster.
And it was amazing just at the moment where anyone watching the game started to think maybe they should pull Brian Hoyer. They did for Jarrett Stidham. And not that Jarrett Stidham was dramatically better, and Stidham hadn't even been active in any of the games all season long, so he got thrown into the fire, and it was too little too late by then. That Hoyer-Chris Webber moment at the end of the first half was stunning. That's one of his strong suits, right? He's been around. Year 14, he's smart, he's savvy, he knows what's going on. Situational awareness. That's what Bill Belichick preaches. For him to think they still had a timeout when he took that sack
shocking
means he didn't feel the urgency to get rid of the ball.
No,
right?
Right.
Let's hear Bill Belichick talking about quarterback play last night in that loss to the Chiefs.
What went into the decision to start Brian Hoyer over Stidham tonight, and did you consider going to Stidham earlier than we did?
Yeah, we did what was best, so that's what we did.
Bill, on the play just before halftime when Brian took the sack, it looked like he signaled for a timeout after he was taken down. Was there a communication issue there, or do you know what happened there?
No, we were out of timeouts.
Yeah, it looked like he was signaling for one. So was there a communication error in getting him that?
Nope.
How much consideration was there at halftime to make the switch that you made late in the third quarter with Stidham going in for Hoyer?
No, I don't know. Not a lot. Just trying to play better. We're down by 3 points, and miss some opportunities in the first half. So they're trying to find ways to keep playing well, and it was a 3-point game.
I kept waiting for the 22-second delay. Remember when we got that one a couple of weeks ago? And I love the double mask.
He is. Look, he's laying it on. Is he laying it on thick, or is he just being extra? What is it? What is it you think? What's the Florio take on that?
Well, when he wears both masks during the game and to the press conference, when he's the first one we've seen all year long wearing the mask during the press conference, and it's the equivalent, as I pointed out last night on Twitter, of wearing underwear over your cup, right? It's the double whammy. It really is odd to see it, and yeah, I think it's fair to conclude that was his way of passive-aggressively reacting to the conference call that he had to engage in yesterday on a day of a game. I don't know, probably from the plane or once they landed, they had the extended conference call where they read everybody the riot act, and that's his reaction to having the riot act read to him. If they're going to huff and puff, he's going to make sure that no one blows their house down. And if he can give a little subtle middle finger in the process, Chris, he's going to do it.
Yeah, well, maybe. Yeah, I don't doubt that with a guy like Bill Belichick. I also don't doubt that maybe he's just being really, really careful because he knows there might be a potential outbreak on his team. He is that smart to just go, okay, the hell with this. I'll put 2 masks on and do it. So I thought the same thing as you did. I thought, is he kind of just like proving a point? Okay, 1 mask might fall off. I'll wear 2 of them, damn it, and show you. I don't know. But either way, he's got to be frustrated. I mean,
right.
That was a...
Well, and as to what he said about Hoyer, the whole thing with the timeout, I mean, he clearly screwed up. Hoyer clearly screwed up. And it drives me crazy when a grown man who's one of the smartest coaches who has ever stood on a sideline of a football field acts like he didn't witness what everyone else witnessed or just chooses to ignore it. Like, you got to deal with it. We know you're dealing with it behind the scenes. Give us an idea. Show us something.
Yeah, right.
Show us something that would – and this gets back to the whole he's the opposite of Bruce Arians. He's not going to throw anybody under the bus. Sometimes they need to be thrown under the bus. Sometimes it's fair to be thrown under the bus. Brian Hoyer deserves to be thrown under the bus for making that mistake.
Yeah, 100%.
And to sit there and act like you don't know what they're talking about is offensive to the intelligence of the average person. If I were average, I would have my intelligence offended. I'm somewhat below average, but if I had average intelligence, I'd be offended.
Well, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like Brian Hoyer, yes, I don't care if whatever the circumstances, he should know the timeout situation. Did New England say something to him prior to that to go, hey, we're out of timeouts? I don't know. I mean, I think that's probably what the reporter
shouldn't need to.
No,
shouldn't need to.
I'm not making it. You're right. He should not need to. He should not. But there they are, that debacle, right? They're going into half, and you're going, damn, New England's got a chance to get a field goal or maybe a touchdown and get the ball in the second half, and here we go because the Chiefs look like they're in trouble. They're sleeping. Mahomes was off. I mean, he should have been picked off. They were having a hard time finding rhythm, staying on the field, doing all of those things. I mean,
I wonder why. I wonder why he was having a hard time staying on the field. I wonder why he was having a hard time finding rhythm. Bill Belichick.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
No doubt.
That's why he's got to be even more pissed off.
Yes.
It worked. They had a game plan for slowing down the Chiefs, and it worked.
Right.
And if our quarterback, who's supposed to be smart, isn't an idiot, we can win the game.
We win the game. I mean, even after all that, it's 6-3, and there they go on the second drive of the second half, right? Because they went 3 and out, punt the ball to Kansas City, they get the ball back, and you go, whoa, it doesn't matter. They're going to go down the field here and at least kick a field goal, and the game's going to be tied again. What's going to happen here? And then he thinks he's Patrick Mahomes and decides to scramble around and loses awareness of what's around him with Taco Charlton, who strips him. And then, of course, we know that just gave Kansas City a little momentum, and it's bam, bam, bam. It's Kelsey, bam, bam, boom, touchdown, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, what happened? So that's all of that, all right? That's on the field. Hoyer mistakes. They're playing good, let alone the worst freaking call we've seen in the NFL this year at the end of the first half. Are you kidding me with that crap? That was an interception and at least a field goal for New England. Why is they're sacking Patrick Mahomes? There was no whistle. There was nothing about that. I was sitting there, and I saw Tony Corrente run in there and act like he was pointed down and hold up the fist to say it's 4th down. That's why Belichick never challenged or did anything like that. He realized he was called down. But that to me was another huge moment, and I'm blanking out because they were already screwed over by the refs a little earlier in the game at one point, and I'm forgetting about that right here on the heat of the moment. But that was a huge game-changing type call right there by Tony Corrente, and I don't buy it. I mean, there was no whistle. That was way, way late, and I would like to see the coach's film. Was he messing with the mask maybe and trying to blow the whistle dead? I don't know. But either way, that was bad luck for the Patriots.
Said Corrente to a pool reporter after the game, I felt that Mahomes was being controlled quite a bit prior to him actually going to the ground. And as he was being controlled, other players were coming in at him. And so with those players bearing down on him, a quarterback is considered in the grasp and his forward progress is considered stopped. When I feel as though the player's safety is being jeopardized, that was the case in this instance. So rather than allow him to get hit by a second and third player, we shut it down and considered it forward progress. That's a lot to understand, and that's a lot of different rules coming together to justify the result. He wasn't in the grasp and control of anyone, and your forward progress is stopped? Yeah, what the hell is that when you're in the backfield trying to buy time to throw? You may have backward progress. It's Patrick Mahomes, for crying out loud. He wasn't trying to gain yardage. He was trying to keep the play alive. Forward progress doesn't mean jack diddly you know what when you're in the pocket trying to extend a play. It's ridiculous. We would have been robbed of the greatest moment in NFL history if forward progress of Eli Manning was stopped against the Patriots in Super Bowl 42. I bet Bill Belichick wishes they had called his forward progress stop then.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where when you see it, it contradicts everything that you've come to expect and know about football. He wasn't down. That play wasn't over. He wasn't in the grasp. Forward progress wasn't stopped. And you wonder how many other quarterbacks, not named Patrick Mahomes,
I agree,
would have ever gotten that consideration.
I agree with that. Listen, that's the first thing that to me was the first time ever I went, ooh, that was a Patrick Mahomes Kansas City call. That's the first time I think I ever saw it where I went, that was a referee who likes Mahomes, knows how awesome he is. Mahomes is probably polite to the refs like he seems to be polite to everybody. And the charm worked, whatever you want to say. But I don't know. But either way, it was.
This isn't Patrick Mahomes is a nice guy. This isn't he says hello to us when he sees us on the field. This isn't I like him. This isn't he's on my fantasy team. This is potentially, and this is why when the league makes it known on the Sunday of week 2 that they've previously instructed the officials to only call clear and obvious fouls. It opens a box full of Pandora, as you would say.
She's in there.
She's in there. To speculate on what else the officials have been told about general concepts or specific players. Because Patrick Mahomes is the cash cow this year. Patrick Mahomes is the straw that's stirring the NFL's drink. Patrick Mahomes is one of the reasons why millions are going to tune in and watch any game. You think last night's ratings are going to suffer because Cam Newton didn't play? Hell no, because Patrick Mahomes did play. So you'll wonder, during those conversations they're never going to tell us about, that happen all the time, have the officials been told to protect quarterbacks, specifically to protect Patrick Mahomes? I think that's fair for us to wonder about it because this is a year where they're just trying to hold it all together.
That's right.
They're trying to hold the audience together. There was a memo that went out yesterday to the teams telling them, don't freak out about the ratings. The ratings are going to be what they are in an election year. But you know what? The NFL's got to be a little freaked out about the ratings, and they can't have the ratings implode because the best player in football can't play. That's why the Patriots got screwed last night in that moment.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt that. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna buy like everything you said there. That there was a meeting and there was something said to them that way. But I do believe that okay, well, yeah, something about the quarterbacks protecting the star players that way. And yes,
some things don't even have to be said.
No, they
Chris.
really don't. That's where I was going with it, Mike. That's exactly right. They just don't need to be said. He's the crown jewel of the league. You're exactly right. Just like Brady was 5 years ago, and if somebody blew in his ear, they were like, don't you do that. You're not allowed to blow in his ear. That's only for Giselle. She can only blow in his ear. But, yes, that was a huge moment, and I can't forget. I mean, New England got screwed over by another call early in the game where Bill got pissed off, and I can't remember what that is, and I'm going to have to wait till commercial break or whatever to remember it. But either way, back to your point, New England's game plan and approach to the game was brilliant. It really was. And we saw a lot of creative defenses from New England that you don't see from anybody else. They're playing man-to-man coverage on Hill and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. And then they got the other four DBs playing quarters coverage and doing stuff that just nobody else in football does. That's just Bill and outside-the-box thinking. Now, can we go to the fun part? You ready for the fun part? What would that game look like if freaking Superman was in there? What would it look like? Because
let's put a pin on that.
Okay,
let's put a pin on that.
Go there. Okay.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit more about what if if Cam Newton is Superman, what is Mahomes? Is he Batman?
Gosh.
No.
Well, yeah.
What is he?
I don't know. He's greater than that right now. He's some sort of Avenger that is just indestructible, and I'm not sure if I know enough to who that is.
Is he Thanos?
No, he can't be
He's not
Thanos.
Thanos.
He's too nice and a good guy. We can't let him be Thanos.
Yeah. All right, here's Patrick Mahomes talking about a night that was more difficult and challenging than he probably expected against the Patriots.
Obviously, I didn't do enough because we didn't execute at a high enough level, and I wasn't able to find the guys and didn't play very good football. But I thought I did whatever I could to try to stay in tune with the game, and hopefully, if this presents itself again, which hopefully it doesn't, I'll be able to do better.
Yeah, hey, look, you're not going to throw for 5 touchdown passes and 400 yards every game. You're not going to have a no-look pass, behind-the-back pass. Not every game is going to be a Patrick Mahomes game, and what makes the Chiefs so amazing is they still find a way to win the games that aren't the Patrick Mahomes
That's right.
games. By 16 points. That's how good the rest of the team is. No Chris Jones, no big deal. Of course, again, it helps that the Patriots kind of imploded a little bit with Brian Hoyer, but still, when you can still win, when you're far from having your best night, that means you're special.
Yes.
Right? And that means watch out everybody.
No, exactly. We saw that last year. You know, that's you're right. And then this year, I think it's even more apparent where it's just they have such self-confidence and belief that they cannot be defeated and that they're just going to answer the bell whenever they need to. It's scary that way. And, yeah, they were a little asleep at the wheel last night, definitely. I mean, that's about as off as I've seen Mahomes in a while. In the first half, you know, not only like, hey, a few dumb mistakes, McCourty should have had the interception, but there was a few throws that just came out of his hand funny, too, where you're like, Mahomes usually, you know, stripes that in there, just throws it right in. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of room. So he was off of his game. I do. And, you know, I just wonder, and I don't even mean to go here, but this is just my natural thought, Mike, because I know we put the pin in it, but I wonder the fact of Cam Newton not being out there, how much that affected the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, we talk about the effect of what Cam Newton might be for New England, but what Cam Newton does, too, is he wakes the other damn team up, too. Whether that's in preparation or when you see him come out for warm-ups and you go, what? Who is that person playing quarterback? I mean, and then he starts talking crap and puffing out his chest, and it adds to the intensity of the game overall. So not only would the Patriots be better with Cam Newton, I do believe that the Chiefs would have been better last night, too, if he's playing. They're going to rise to the challenge. Cam's going to needle them and let them know when he runs for 6 yards and everything like that. And that's what is great about watching Cam Newton football. He's one of the best about pissing the other team off and adding to the intensity. But
it's a point we made last Tuesday,
right.
Chris. It's
right.
the point we made last Tuesday. When you get the fully focused and motivated Chiefs, you better watch out.
Exactly.
When you get them when they're just kind of like, man, and
right.
they go to overtime with the Chargers and win the game and get out of there. I mean, Ravens-Chiefs last week. What did I say? Ravens-Chiefs last week. When that happened, it's like, hey, okay, Chiefs are ready.
Yes.
You know, Patrick Mahomes is counting out to 4. I mean, everything's locked in. It's Lamar Jackson. To your point, last night you take Cam Newton off the field and the Chiefs kind of, I'm not going to say not show up, but the full-bore, 100% pedal-to-the-metal Chiefs aren't there.
Right.
Let me ask you this about what happened as well.
Yeah.
Because I saw the tweets yesterday, everybody propping up Brian Hoyer. He knows the offense inside and out. He's respected. He'll do fine. Well, he didn't,
Yeah, no.
first of all. But second of all, the other 10 guys on offense spent all week with the Cam Newton portion of the playbook.
That's right, too.
Getting ready for that,
Right.
right? So they had, 2 days? And maybe they did. Who knows what they did? They probably couldn't go do a walkthrough on Sunday because they were freaked out about the virus. They had virtual meetings on Sunday.
That's right.
How do you even practice the portion of the playbook for Hoyer? Because there isn't a whole lot of overlap between the Hoyer playbook and the Newton playbook, and they just had to go do it.
You're right. No, they were handicapped in this effort. There's no question. You're right. You're preparing for Cam Newton, what we're going to do with him at quarterback, all the mesh point stuff with him in the shotgun. Here's the run plays. Here's the speed sweep, the fake speed sweep, all of those things. That goes out the door with Brian Hoyer. It holds no water with a guy like him Kansas City doesn't give a damn if Brian Hoyer's faking the read option or out on the edge. That means nothing to them. So that effect, you're right, was totally lost, a huge part of the Patriots' game plan. And that's why they had to kind of just go to like, all right, here's traditional run plays, right? Here's a fullback, here's a tailback, hand the ball off, pulling guard. And then they kind of got into, all right, when we want to throw the ball, it's not going to really be the Cam Newton pass offense either. We're going to revert back to basic Brady pass offense because Hoyer knows that and work that. And they're not built for that right now. They're not that kind of team. And they don't have the kind of weapons, too, for a guy like Brian Hoyer to really work with. You know, Cam Newton can make weapons better because he will hang in the pocket. He's got a laser right arm. So he's very aggressive that way. And then, of course, what he does with his movement and extending plays and all that is, you know, he makes everybody else around him better. Hoyer needs help to make him look better. And this was not the right match last night, as we saw. The pressure was on him at certain points, and he folded and didn't do well in those areas.
And one of the reasons the flip back to the old offense wasn't as bad as it could have been for the Patriots, the Chiefs prepared.
Yeah, no question.
For Superman.
Right. No question.
Not for Jimmy Olsen. And so they had to change up their approach on the fly, too.
No
Think
doubt.
of all what they would have done last week. Because the Cam Newton, we got to stop Cam Newton. And stuff they used against the Ravens carries over. And now all of a sudden, same idea. Just flip side of it, oh, crap. They're going to run a completely different offense, and we have to readjust. Oh, and we don't have Chris Jones. And I think that's why the stripped down, scaled down, flip it over to the Brian Hoyer portion of the playbook worked to a certain extent.
I do agree.
Because the Chiefs weren't ready for it either.
Yeah, I think there is certainly something to that. I bet you there was some things in formations where he dropped back and they were like, just damn, we didn't expect him to do that. They haven't done that this year with, you know, Cam Newton or whatever that is. So I bet it did throw a curveball to Spags and everything like that. And you know, him trying to figure out how they're going to attack him and all of those type of things. But that's what I was so excited about to see the matchup with Spags versus Josh McDaniels, as you heard Romo and Nance talking about that great matchup. And they just came off a win off of defending, you know, the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson, like you mentioned. And here was Cam Newton, who runs a similar type of offense, but is a different type of player than Lamar and all that. I was just very excited at that. And really, ultimately, Mike, we'll see where New England ends up. I mean, I think you and I both think they're a good football team. They got some tough damn schedule, but this could play in their favor if they meet up with Kansas City again. It really can. This is the kind of game where, you know, they're going to walk away, and if they do play them again, they're going to go, we messed that up. We're as good as that team, and we didn't have our best player that day. So they're going to be able to go into the next matchup with, like, kind of chest out going, yeah, we know it's Mahomes. We respect it. But we think we could play with you guys and beat you, and I don't think they're going to be one bit fear Kansas City at all. And they're one of the few teams, I think, in the AFC that's probably won't fear Kansas City if we get to the playoffs.
And the flip side of that's also true. There may be some doubt that creeps into the Chiefs if and when the Patriots come back to town with Cam Newton. The Patriots are hopeful Cam Newton will be able to play this weekend against the Broncos. If he's not cleared, who plays quarterback?
They got to go to Jarrett Stidham. It's almost the exact same story as Sunday night. I just can't imagine Kyle Shanahan going back to Nick Mullins because the team's going to watch the film today and maybe on the plane ride back last night, and they're going to see the game, and they're just going to go, man, there's just going to be no denying it. They're going to walk away and go, we lost the game because of Brian Hoyer. Holy cow, he played like crap. Like, the players are going to say that. The coaches, of course, are going to be saying that. And I would be shocked if it's not Jarrett Stidham. I don't know why it wasn't really Jarrett Stidham from the start. To me, that was one of the lost stories of the week and kind of where that whole thing happened and played out. I know he got injured during training camp, and that affected reps and things like that. And I don't know if that's where he lost the stronghold of being the backup and they just didn't feel comfortable, but I don't think there's any way they go back to Hoyer this week if Cam can't go.
I think it was yesterday, Chris, that I was just having trouble processing the fact that Tom Brady isn't on the Patriots anymore. Was that yesterday?
Yeah.
I kept referring to Brady and the Patriots. Let me tell you what happened.
Yeah.
Watching the game last night. At some point in the first half, Jim Nance makes reference to the fact that the Patriots play the Broncos this week. And I was eating dinner with my wife or something. And I
Don't
said,
even tell me.
They already played the Broncos. They already played the Broncos. What is he thinking? They already played the Broncos.
Yeah.
And it took me like 45 seconds to finally realize Tom Brady played the Broncos.
Were you going?
Not the Patriots.
Were you going? Man, Tom Brady and the Patriots. They have a hard time playing the Broncos in Denver. Were you saying that?
Yeah, I'm thinking they already played the Broncos. That's already happened. It's what is he talking about? Oh yeah. Tom Brady's not on the Patriots anymore. They probably wish they would have had Tom Brady last night. If they'd had Tom Brady, they'd have won last night.
They would have.
Correct?
There's no doubt. Yes, there's no doubt. Yes, that game was there for the taking. They like we talked about, the game plan on the offense and defensive side of the ball was perfect, and it was executed perfectly by just about everybody except the one damn guy who's got the ball in his hand more than everybody else. He had a crappy day.
Remember last year at this time we were talking about how great this Patriots defense is. Some people were even whispering in guarded terms,
right.
85 Bears. That's how dominant they were. Where's the defense this year compared to last year?
I don't know if it's as dominant as last year, especially up front. I think the secondary is still every bit as good. But I don't know if they have quite the size and, versatility they have in the front seven like they did last year. No Hightower, Van Noy, Jamie Collins. I mean, yes, there's a difference there. But I still think this is one of the better defenses in football. I do. And I think more importantly, because of the secondary and it's so elite, it really is. They match up better with Kansas City maybe than any other team in football. And that's what's scary. And it gives them great flexibility even when they have to play a team like Baltimore, because they can put so much on that secondary and then they go, hey, everybody else, stop a run game, whatever that is. But it's still really damn good. I just don't know if I'm going to say it's as good as last year.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.